The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. South Korean and U.S. forces held their largest ever live-fire exercises, simulating a full-scale attack from North Korea. The 5-day exercise kicked off near the border with North Korea and was joined by some 2,500 troops from the South and the United States. The two nations pushed through with the drills despite North Korea's warning that it will not tolerate what it calls an invasion rehearsal on its doorstep. More than 600 tanks, attack helicopters, and fighter jets were mobilized for the joint exercises. The drills simulated artillery and aerial strikes on frontline North Korean military facilities in response to an attack. Troops later practiced precision-guided attacks on simulated targets in the rear areas to, quote, completely annihilate North Korean military threats. Russia's Wagner mercenary group is set to hand over control of Bakhmut to Moscow by June 1. The group's founder, Yevgeny Prigozhin, said his forces have started pulling out of Bakhmut days after he declared that they had captured the Ukrainian city. But Prigozhin added that his forces are ready to return if the regular army is unable to manage the situation. One Ukrainian defense official said Russian military troops had replaced Wagner units in the suburbs, but noted that Wagner fighters remain inside the city of Bakhmut.
Сейчас 5 утра, 25 мая, до 1 июня основная часть перебазируется в тыловые лагеря. Передаем позиции военным боекомплект, позиции, все, включая сухой паек. Но, если военным будет трудно, безусловно, мы оставим тех, кто имел основную роль.
Iran has successfully test-launched a ballistic missile with a potential 2,000-kilometer range on Thursday. This comes just 2 days after the chief of Israel's armed forces raised the prospect of action against Tehran over its nuclear program. Iran, which has one of the biggest missile programs in the Middle East, says its weapons are capable of breaching the bases of its arch foes, Israel and the United States, in the region. State TV broadcasted a few seconds of footage of what it said was the launch of an upgraded version of Iran's Khorram Shar 4 ballistic missile. Despite US and European opposition, the Islamic Republic said it will further develop its defensive missile program.
پیام وزارت دفاع در راستای ارتقاء توانمندی‌های دفاعی برای دشمنانمون این هستش که ما مصمم هستیم در دفاع از کشور و دفاع از دستاوردهای انقلاب اسلامی و این رو نشون دادیم به دشمن که به هیچ وجه نمیتونه جوانان ما رو از مسیر پیشرفت و رشد و تعالی باز بداره.
Britain, France, and Germany have earlier warned they would trigger a return of UN sanctions against Tehran if it enriched uranium to the optimal level for a nuclear weapon. The threat, which was made last year, underscores Western fears that Iran could produce bomb-grade uranium of 90% purity. Those concerns intensified in February after UN inspectors revealed their discovery of uranium particles of 83.7% purity at an Iran nuclear facility built deep underground. In reaction to the latest test launch, the US says Iran's development of ballistic missiles poses a serious threat to regional and international security. The US notes that they continue to use a variety of non-proliferation tools, including sanctions, to counter the further advancement of Iran's ballistic missile program. France, on the other hand, accused Iran of violating a UN Security Council resolution endorsing the 2015 nuclear deal.
I would say that despite the restrictions on Iran's missile-related activities under UN Security Council Resolution 2231, Iran continues to seek a range of missile technologies from foreign suppliers. and to conduct ballistic missile tests in defiance of the resolution. As we've said before, and Iran with a nuclear weapon would likely act even more provocatively, and that's why we are so committed to preventing Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. U.S. President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy appeared to be nearing a deal on debt ceiling. According to Biden, he had several productive conversations with McCarthy, adding that negotiations will continue. The Democrat president said Republicans are pushing for steep cuts that would increase wait times for Social Security claims. He remains optimistic, though, that they will come to an agreement that would allow them to protect hardworking Americans. Biden and McCarthy are trying to strike a deal to cut spending and raise the government's debt ceiling to avert a default. One source told Reuters that the two sides are just $70 billion apart on a total figure that would be well over $1 trillion.
I want to be clear that the negotiations we're having with Speaker McCarthy is about the outlines of what the budget will look like, not about default. Speaker McCarthy and I have a very different view of who should bear the burden of additional efforts to get our fiscal house in order. I don't believe the whole burden should fall on the backs of middle class and working class Americans.
Typhoon Moana leaves Guam with most of the U.S. Western Pacific territory without power or water. The typhoon's 240-kilometer-per-hour winds uprooted trees and knocked over power lines, causing widespread outages on the territory. At last count on Wednesday afternoon, all but 1,000 of the island's 52,000 homes and businesses were without power. Crews are now working to restore electricity, giving priority to critical infrastructure such as hospitals and wastewater facilities. Residents are also advised to boil their water until further notice as crews repaired generators damaged by the typhoon. A Filipina in Guam recalled her experience during the storm. She told One News' The Big Story that the typhoon was so strong that even homes designed to withstand storms weren't as effective.
We thought the door would come off kasi sa sobrang lakas ng hangin, and then with the wind na sobrang lakas, yung tubig. Although designed yung bahay dito sa Guam for typhoon, kaya may mga typhoon shutters kami, it did not make any difference kasi pumasok pa rin yung tubig. Monday morning pa lang, May 22, we were told to be ready. So talagang we took it seriously, and good thing na sumunod kaming lahat dahil We never expected it to be like that strong.
Fans continued to lay floral tributes to legendary singer Tina Turner yesterday outside the Swiss lakeside home where she died on Wednesday. Bouquets and tributes were arranged in front of a hedge beyond the main gate of her house on the shore of Lake Zurich. Others were fixed to the gate. The American-born singer was 83 when she died after a long illness in her home. A steady stream of visitors have come to the gates of her estate to light candles and leave messages for the singer, whose hits included What's Love Got to Do With It and Simply the Best. Locals describe her as a popular neighbor who appreciated the lack of fuss from fellow residents when walking around. And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News, all sides all the time.